Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the fascinating biological mechanisms of PEA and how it naturally combats pain, anxiety, and insomnia. If you've ever felt completely trapped in that loop of physical discomfort and mental exhaustion, the science we're unpacking today is going to be incredibly relevant to you. Let's get right into it. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The pain, stress, and sleep triad. 2. Meet PEA, the body's defender. 3. The entourage effect explained. 4. The problem of PEA exhaustion. And 5. Luteolin, the perfect partner. Section 1. The pain, stress, and sleep triad. So, we have to start by establishing this interconnected triad of human suffering that honestly plagues so many people right now. We really need to ask ourselves how environmental stress, anxiety states, and physical pain actively feed into each other to basically destroy our health. It is so easy to look at a bad night's sleep or an anxious mind or an aching knee as completely isolated issues. But biological research tells us a totally different story. They are intimately, biochemically linked. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why treating just one symptom usually fails. Think about it. When you experience chronic pain, it alters your perception and physically heightens your stress. That stress then activates the HPA axis, which is your body's primary stress response system. Now you're in a heightened state of alert, and that leads to pathogenic sleep reactivity. That's just the clinical term for severe insomnia driven by stress. Plus, the whole thing is amplified when a specific lipid mediator in your brain, called anandamide, begins to drop. It's this vicious cycle where one symptom literally feeds the next. Section 2. Meet PEA, the body's defender. The amazing thing is, the solution to this triad is something our bodies actually have built in. Meet palmitoethanolamide, or thankfully PEA for short. The absolutely crucial concept here is that it's endogenous, right? PEA isn't some synthetic compound that's foreign to human biology. It is a built-in protective superhero. It's a fatty acid amide that your very own cells manufacture on demand right inside the cellular lipid bilayer. Basically, when your tissues are injured or under stress, your body synthesizes PEA to restore balance, cool down inflammation, and relieve pain. And PEA actually has a surprisingly long, fascinating track record. Believe it or not, back in the 1930s, researchers noticed that feeding children diets rich in dried egg yolks somehow prevented rheumatic fever from coming back. It wasn't until 1957 that scientists officially isolated the specific anti-inflammatory factor responsible for this, and that was PEA, found naturally in egg yolks and peanut meal. Now, research kind of stalled out in the 1980s because scientists couldn't quite figure out exactly how it worked. They just labeled it a general immune enhancer. But today, modern trials have completely validated its targeted receptor dynamics. So what's the actual mechanism? Well, PEA acts a lot like a biological master switch. It primarily binds to what are known as PPR alpha receptors on your immune cells. When it binds, it essentially tells your genetic network to shut down inflammatory signals and turn off the pain. It also modulates mast cells. Mast cells are vital immune cells for sure, but they can cause absolute havoc in allergies, asthma, and neuroinflammation when they get overactive. PEA steps in and just calms them right down. Section 3. The entourage effect explained. Let's see how this builds into something scientists call the entourage effect. This is really where PEA's impact on stress and anxiety shines. It's a step-by-step cascade where PEA acts as your cellular bodyguard. Step 1, you experience acute psychosocial stress, and your body immediately spikes PEA production to protect you. Step 2 is where the magic happens. PEA actually blocks the specific enzymes that normally break down another molecule called anandamide, or AEA, which leads to Step 3. Because anandamide isn't being broken down, its levels elevate, which regulates TRPV1 receptors to powerfully reduce your anxiety. PEA is basically doing the heavy lifting by protecting the molecules that keep you calm. And what exactly is anandamide? Well, you'll often see it referred to in scientific literature as the bliss molecule. It's a naturally occurring endocannabinoid that regulates your behavior, your mood, and your memory. By utilizing this entourage effect to protect the bliss molecule, PEA exerts these really powerful anti-anxiety properties entirely naturally, without you needing to take anything psychoactive. And this mechanism isn't just theoretical on a whiteboard. It translates into real, measurable relief for actual patients. In double-blind studies of patients with knee osteoarthritis, those taking PEA saw not just a reduction in their joint pain, but a really significant drop in stress and anxiety too. For patients suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome, which is something that often ruins a good night's sleep, ultra-micronized PEA significantly improved their sleep-wake rhythm. It's even been shown to improve symptoms in severe depression when used alongside standard therapies. It's truly attacking that entire pain, stress, sleep triad all at once. Section 4. The problem of PEA exhaustion. Now, all of this raises a pretty obvious question, right? If our body makes this miracle molecule naturally, why do so many of us still suffer from chronic pain and anxiety and terrible sleep? Well, think of your body like a rechargeable battery. During acute stress, say a sudden injury or a short-term hazardous situation, your body rapidly spikes PEA levels to protect you. It handles the problem. But under conditions of chronic stress and prolonged pain, that battery gets completely drained. Prolonged neuroinflammation causes your body's natural reserves of PEA to become entirely depleted.
Basically, what you should take away from this is a concept called PE exhaustion. When your pain is protracted over a long period, the degradation of PE severely outpaces your body's ability to produce it. Specific enzymes, FAH1 and NAA, start aggressively tearing the PE molecule apart. You simply can't make enough of it to keep up with the breakdown. This molecular mismatch is exactly why exogenous administration, meaning taking a PE supplement, becomes necessary. By taking it orally, you bypass that exhaustion, replenish your cellular levels, and restore those vital protective, anti-inflammatory, and pain-relieving effects.
Section 5. Luteolin, the perfect partner. Now, to truly win the day against severe neuroinflammation, our endogenous hero actually needs a sidekick. Researchers discovered that if you combine ultramicronized PEA with a specific antioxidant flavonoid called luteolin, you get a massive synergistic effect. This composite, which is commonly referred to in the literature as co-ultra-PEA-LUT, combines them in a highly precise 10-to-1 mass ratio. So for every 10 parts of PEA, you have 1 part luteolin. Together, they launch this beautifully coordinated dual-pronged attack on cellular damage. PEA acts as the powerful anti-inflammatory mediator. It's shutting down the pain pathways and putting out the fire of inflammation. Meanwhile, luteolin steps in as a potent antioxidant, actively neutralizing and cleaning up the toxic reactive oxygen species that are damaging your cells. They cover each other's blind spots perfectly. Because of this synergy, the PEA and luteolin composite is showing just incredible efficacy across a really wide spectrum of clinical trials. In Alzheimer's models, it actively reduced cell death and restored brain-derived neurotrophic factor. For traumatic brain injury, it improved motor activity and actually reduced trauma severity. And remarkably, it did this at lower doses than using PEA alone. In human trials for stroke recovery, patients taking 700 milligrams of PEA with 70 milligrams of luteolin saw significant, tangible improvements in their cognitive abilities, their independence, and their pain levels. And in arthritis models, it drastically reduced swelling, redness, and inflammatory cytokines. It is, without a doubt, a true neuroprotective powerhouse. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this explainer. We've seen how replenishing depleted levels of PEA can break that vicious triad of pain, stress, and sleeplessness, essentially giving our biology the exact tools it needs to fix itself. It really leaves you wondering, if simply providing the body with the right natural lipid mediators can achieve all this, from reversing arthritis pain to aiding in stroke recovery, what other hidden healing potentials are locked away in our own cellular endocannabinoid system, just waiting to be activated? Thank you for exploring the science of PEA and luteolin with me today. Stay curious and keep learning.